Okay, today, welcome to Shane's Main Shop. Today we are going to be replacing the garage door opener, the runner that goes on the bar. It pulls the door open and close. It's a lock-in mechanism, and I'll show you an up-close of the broken one. This is busted. It got caught on something at one point and broke. And I fixed it. Kind of put some clamps around it for a while, but it's finally done. So I ordered a new one. Hopefully you can get a good view of that. The pipe runs right through here. This is the mechanism here to unlock it so you can open the door freely, and then this locks it in so that the chain pulls the door up and down. So you can see it's in rough shape. It's broken. I had a clamp around it, which actually I got about another year or so out of it. But anyway, sometimes it's best just to replace it. It's only, I think the part was only about $15 or something. So, alright, let me get the ladder and stuff out and we'll get started. Let me just back up here a little bit. The first thing we got to do is loosen the chain, and that is actually that piece you see right there. Also too, I didn't show, there's a rod that comes down from that down to the door. You can see it sticking out. I disconnected that already so we could open and close the door temporarily without the opener at all. This just basically turns. You can see me turning it, and that allows this rod to get out. You're going to see the chain getting looser and looser, start hanging down here. I'm going to go as far as I can. So it's right there. I just pulled the pin, pulled this pin off this end here. Well, that'll allow this pin to come out here. Once that comes out, this should just drop right down. That's all there is to that. So this should just come off. I'm going to grab me a rag, because if I don't, I'm going to get covered on this side. And then this, I'm basically going to try and just twist this apart. And lucky me, it's coming. You probably can't see it because I got the rag in the way, but right here, this is coming apart nicely. I don't think there's going to be enough slack in the chain, so I guess I'm going to have to unhook it, much as I didn't want to. So we're just going to go ahead and finish unscrewing this, unfortunately. I know you can't see this part, but that's going to let the chain go down. I'll rest it on this. This will give me all the slack I need now to get this apart. There we go. Okay. So we'll rest that half onto the ladder. I know you really can't see this very well, but what that does is it allows me to take this broken piece off. Well, you know what? My mistake. I gotta pull this apart anyway because the cable runs through this shaft here, so I gotta go ahead and just pull this all apart, unfortunately. But basically, I'm pulling the pin and the pulley out the end, and I'll lift this up so you can see. That will allow this piece to fit through here and be out of the way, and then slide through there, hopefully. So what I'm doing is just sliding this. Now keep in mind, you want to make sure you put the new one back in the right way, so I'm just going to slide this out. And there's the no good one. Here's the new one. And it shows right on top which way the door's got to be, but you should pay attention when you're taking it apart anyway so you get it right. And I'll pull this pin down so it's out of the way. And go ahead and slide this back in. There we go. So there, we got that pulled through. So now what you want to do is basically just going to slide this back on the pipe so it's out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and reassemble this here. And just gonna go back in there. It should be good. Now what we want to do is take the end of this cable that we took out of the end of the pipe here. I don't know if you can see it or not. It's going to go back to the end of the pipe. And then we're going to put this pulley back on the end here while we line the cable up in the pulley. Then this pin goes back in. And then the cotter pin goes in. After that, alright, so I know you probably couldn't see a lot of that, and I do apologize, but that's pretty close. Go ahead and get this pin ready. Alright. I'm going to put the lock pin back in the end of that one before that falls out. Now when you do this, you just want to make sure your cable is in your pulley. And I'm going to grab a chain here. The other thing you're going to do is make sure the chain is on the gear on the other side. But let's get this started first, then I'll check that. Must be my garage door beeping, I don't know why. You don't want to go too tight with this, but you want it snug so it's not rattling. Okay, I'm going to slide this down. I'm going to put this back in position. So this really is all back together. The only thing now is we got to get the part that connects to the opener down here to lock in, and we will go ahead and push the button here and see what happens. Something's up with it, so I'm going to go ahead and unplug it so it can reset itself. And hopefully that'll fix why it's not acting right. So bear with me. Alright, so I figured out why it wasn't working right and why it was beeping, because these, as you know, all these garage door openers come with these stupid ass safety things. And yes, I know somebody will say something. So this mechanism here is the eye that's supposed to be at the base of the door, shining across. So if you go to close the door and then someone crosses that eye and breaks the beam, the door automatically stops and goes the other way. Well, I've had these doors in for 19 years, and I just taped the whole mechanism right up here, directly facing itself. So I never had to worry about this stupid thing, but the tape, with all this work, has worked its way out of position, so the eyes are not looking at each other anymore. So we'll go ahead and fix that. Yeah, this is so, you know, your kids don't cross underneath the door and all that. Well, I had 2 kids. What happened to teaching your kids? It's the problem with the world. You can't have nothing anymore without 100 fucking safety things. So there. Let's see if I have enough slack to stick it on top. If I do, it fell down in between here. So this time when that piece comes along, it will lock in there eventually. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and push the door opener. There we go. So now I just got to test. I got to lock it in so it's locked into the door, and then test to make sure the down pressure and the up pressure is correct. So it closes the door properly, and it looks to me like it's too far down. There we go. I gotta go back down and see how far it closes. So yeah, it's too far down.